Attention passionate Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Pittsburgh Steelers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Pittsburgh Steelers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Let's get to the news. Hey Steelers fans, hold on tight because the NFL offseason just got a whole lot more interesting. And it might be the move that sets Pittsburgh up for a deep playoff run in 2024 and beyond. Rumors are swirling around the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the possibility of them trading one of their key offensive weapons, Chris Godwin, to the Steelers. Yeah, you heard that right. Chris Godwin, one of the most precise route runners in the league, could soon be donning the black and gold, and let me tell you, it's a game changer. The insiders suggest that Tampa Bay, sitting at 6'5", with roughly $14 million in cap space still available, is looking at a rebuild mode after parting ways with Baker Mayfield. Their focus seems to be on developing their young core, especially on the defensive side, but they might be willing to trade away some veteran talent, and Chris Godwin could be at the top of their list. Now, what does this mean for the Steelers? Well, let's break it down. First, the Buccaneers are targeting a third-round pick in the 2026 NFL Draft in exchange for Godwin. That's a relatively low cost for a receiver of his caliber, especially considering his route-running ability, YAC, yards after catch, and his knack for creating mismatches. This trade, if it happens, would be reminiscent of the Diggs trade to the Bills back in 2020, a smart, strategic move that added instant depth at wide receiver. Pittsburgh, after losing the likes of Metcalf to injury, has been in need of that reliable, explosive pass-catching threat. With Godwin, they'd be getting a polished veteran who can stretch the field, work the middle, and make those clutch catches in tight coverage. But more than just adding a player, this trade could shift the entire offensive dynamic for the Steelers. Imagine a scenario where the Steelers can line up with Pickens on one side and Godwin on the other, creating a nightmare for opposing defenses. Both players excel at different aspects of route running. Pickens is more of the big play threat, while Godwin is the precise route runner who can find soft spots in zone coverages and rack up YAC. Together, they'd form a duo that can really open up the field and give quarterback Kenny Pickett even more options to exploit defenses. The potential for plus 900 yards from this pairing, up from the current projections around 600, isn't just wishful thinking. It's a realistic outcome given Godwin's skill set. Furthermore, Godwin's presence would significantly improve Pittsburgh's red zone efficiency. Last season, the Steelers' red zone touchdown percentage hovered around 52%, which is decent but room for improvement. With Godwin, that percentage could jump to around 68%, thanks to his ability to win contested catches and his understanding of space in tight areas. His route versatility, especially on slant routes where he can gain plus 14% EPA, expected points added, would give the Steelers a crucial edge in high-pressure situations. Moreover, his yards after catch per reception, which stands at about 5. 8 yards would be a reliable asset for the Steelers' offense, helping them extend drives and keep defenses on their heels. Let's also touch on the strategic importance of this move from Tampa Bay's perspective. The Bucs are clearly looking to cut costs, with a cap space of $14 million, but they are also facing the challenge of retooling after losing key players like Mike Evans's contract situation and the need to rebuild their offensive line. Despite Godwin's talent, the team might be willing to let him go to free up cap space and focus on developing their younger players, especially on defense. The fact that they're considering trading him before the April 2024 deadline indicates they see this as a strategic move rather than a necessity. From their point of view, they're betting on their upcoming draft picks and cap flexibility to build a competitive team again. For the Steelers, acquiring Godwin wouldn't just be about immediate production. It's about establishing a passing attack that can compete with the best in the league. As we look ahead to Super Bowl LXI, the odds are already shifting. Currently, Pittsburgh's Super Bowl odds are around plus 1,200, but with a move like this, they could tighten to about plus 850, similar to what we saw with the Dolphins after acquiring Tyreek Hill. Godwin's impact, especially in clutch situations where he's projected to boost EPA rec by plus 0.22, could be the X factor that elevates the Steelers into serious contenders. His ability to create separation, especially against man coverage, is a game changer. In fact, stats show that Godwin has a +2, 3 yards per separation advantage over some defenders and a +1, 8 advantage in contested catches, making him a nightmare for secondary defenders. This move would also balance out the Steelers' offensive approach. Currently, the team has leaned heavily on the run game, which is a solid foundation, but to truly contend in the AFC, they need a dynamic passing game. By adding Godwin, who can consistently win in the red zone and in critical third-down situations, Pittsburgh could see their red zone scoring rate increase significantly, from 52% to around 68% or higher. That's a difference maker in close games and playoff scenarios. It's also worth mentioning that this would give the Steelers a matchup nightmare against defenses that are focused on containing Pickens or other receivers. Godwin's presence would stretch defenses vertically and horizontally, forcing defenders to pick their poison. Now, let's consider the long-term implications. Adding a veteran like Godwin could help develop younger receivers in the Steelers' locker room, especially if they plan to invest in draft picks or young talent. His leadership and experience in high-pressure situations would be invaluable for a team striving to get back to the Super Bowl stage. Remember, Pittsburgh has a storied history of building through the draft and smart trades, and this move fits that mold perfectly. It's the kind of strategic acquisition that can propel a team from playoff hopeful to Super Bowl contender. Of course, there are skeptics. Some might argue that Tampa Bay's decision to trade Godwin could be motivated by their desire to clear cap space and focus on their future, rather than a reflection of his talent. But for Steelers fans, the potential addition of Godwin is a tantalizing prospect, one that could reshape their offense and give Kenny Pickett a true one target that's both reliable and explosive. It's about seizing opportunities in the offseason, making smart moves like this, and positioning the team for sustained success. As we look ahead to the draft and free agency, it's clear that the Steelers need to be aggressive if they want to climb to the top of the AFC. A move for Chris Godwin could be just the catalyst they need. Imagine the Steelers' offense with Pickens and Godwin running routes, causing mismatches across the field and creating a passing attack that's as dangerous as it has been in years. This isn't just about one player. It's about setting a new tone, establishing a passing dynasty, and finally giving Steelers fans the offense they've been craving for years. With the right pieces, Pittsburgh could be looking at a deep playoff run, maybe even their first Super Bowl appearance in quite some time, especially if they can capitalize on this kind of strategic move. And now, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to US and TO, the Pittsburgh Steelers. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news.